Welcome to Between the Browns.
We're Mo and Crystal Brown.
Around here, we're having real conversations about life, love, family, faith, and growth.
Because the best conversations happen in between.
And no matter what season you're in, we're all figuring it out together. Welcome to the very first episode of Between the Browns. We are Maurice and Crystal Brown, and today we are sharing the story of how we met, what almost kept us apart, and why we believe timing matters.
So before you start, let's talk about where you were emotionally before meeting each other.
As far as where I was emotionally, I was coming out of a long-term relationship. I was also still grieving the loss of my father. And I was just really in a space where I didn't want anything serious because I never really had the opportunity to just, what's the best way to say it? To be outside. I never had a time when I was outside because I was married for 10 years and then I had a little small break and then I started dating the guy that I was with for almost 5 years. So I was trying to be outside and see what was out there.
I'm gonna need you to clarify outside. What you mean outside?
I was trying to date. I was trying to have a roster of men, you know.
Wait. Pause.
I just wanted to have a little fun. I did not want another relationship. I do know that. I just wanted to have some fun. So that's where I was.
So before me, you were just trying to have fun.
Yes, trying to have fun.
My next question was gonna be, what were you looking for? So were you not looking for anything?
I was looking for a good time, not a long time.
Okay. Good. Okay. So that kind of leads to the next question. What were you not looking for? So you were not looking for anything serious?
I wasn't looking for anything serious. I didn't want a relationship. I just wanted to have fun because I'm the type of girl, I am a relationship girl. I know that about myself. I've been in long-term relationships since high school. I dated the same guy the entire 4 years of high school. And I had a little time where I hung out in college, but then shortly after I met my first husband. So yeah, I've never been outside having fun like everybody else. So that's where I was. I did not want a long-term relationship.
So when you saw me, you weren't looking for me.
No.
Oh, okay. So were you ready for a relationship when you saw me or when we first crossed paths or?
I mean, I don't think that's the right question to ask
Okay.
because if I like someone and we're vibing, then I can easily get into that relationship space, which is obviously what we did.
Really?
But that's not what I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
So let me ask you,
Okay.
where were you before we met each other?
I was focused on co-parenting with kids and I was having my fun. I'm gonna be honest, enjoying life because when I didn't have my kids, I had my time where it was just me. So if I wanted to be by myself and not be bothered, then I had that time. If I wanted to go out and enjoy myself, then I could
So in other words, you were outside.
when I wanted to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were you looking for?
I wouldn't say I was really looking. I wanted to enjoy my space, enjoy my time, and just focus on what I needed to do.
Okay. Were you ready for a relationship?
I would say yes, because I had plenty of downtime during that time. I had my kids half the week, the other half of the week I didn't. So if I went out one of those days out of the 3 or 4 where I didn't have my kids, you talking about 2 or 3 days where it was just me and work, or an off day where I might just work out or just spend some downtime. So
So you were outside, like I said.
you're just gonna keep saying that. Well,
I
okay,
mean,
I'll concede to that.
okay. All right, so let's talk about how we met because we know that that is a very good and interesting story. So I'm going to defer to you on that.
You want me to tell it?
Yes, how did we meet?
How did we meet? Ooh, that's a long story. Let me see how I can shorten it
Yes.
and keep it tight.
Give us the Cliff Note.
Cliff Notes. So Crystal came into this Facebook group. She kicked the door off the hinges, came in and was just being nice and very flirty. I'm not gonna say flirty.
I
That's
was
probably
about
the
to
wrong word.
say, I was
That's
not being
probably the
flirty.
wrong word. She was being very cordial. But the group was a mature group. Everybody was a little bit older than she was by maybe 5 to 10 years, give or take. And some of the ladies in the group did not particularly care for the attention that Crystal was getting. And they called her a Thundercat. She called them hens. And they kicked her out of the group. So Crystal was gone, but I kind of had to play it cool because all the guys were kind of really, really responding to her well. But then our paths crossed in another group. And then they didn't want to let me in that group. And
I wonder why.
Well, they wanted you to themselves, and I learned that later, but I had to finagle my way to try and get admitted to the group, to try and be in a position to meet this young lady who had everybody fascinated, that had this personality. And although she is a natural introvert, you wouldn't be able to tell on social media. And the crazy part was that she did not go by her actual name at this point in time. She had an alias, which
What was my alias, honey?
I'm not gonna put that out there.
Come on, tell the
No,
people what my
no,
alias was.
no, because people will be like, "Oh, that I think I know her." We're not even doing that. So, but
I might go back to my alias.
absolutely,
We'll see.
okay. At any rate, but during this phase of Facebook, groups were very popular, and you would have meet and greets to where everybody would meet out at a restaurant or a bar. And so there was an opportunity for the first meet and greet where we were in the same space. We weren't living in the same city. So Crystal traveled to it, I traveled to it, and we knew some of the same people, but this was our first chance to actually physically meet each other. And so at meet and greets, everybody was taking the opportunity to meet each other. I knew somebody that was there.
Oh, come on now. You got to keep it all the way real. Don't do that.
Out of respect.
Out of respect, we will just say that he arrived at the meet and greet with someone.
We didn't arrive together.
Okay. You
We
were
met
with
there.
someone.
We met there,
You were with someone at the meet and greet, correct?
as were you.
I was not with anybody at the meet and greet.
Keep it one anyway.
I wasn't. Nobody was locking arms with me or doing any of those things. I was single as a bird, Bookie. But anyway, we're not going to get into that because, like we said, we want to be respectful. So we're not going to deep dive into that too much. So I'm going to ask the next question.
Well, if people don't know that you were there with somebody because you're keeping it on the low, then
I wasn't there with someone. Did I meet with someone afterwards? Absolutely. But I was not there with that person.
hence outside. But that's a whole nother conversation. But go ahead.
What was your first impression of me upon meeting me for the first time?
That you were, you know how when you meet people on social media, the pictures can be a little bit misleading. You were every bit as attractive in person as your pictures, definitely as fashionable. And your energy that your pictures put out was definitely there. So I was like, you know what? She's fine now.
Big fine.
Yeah. little fine. Because if you've never met Crystal in person, she's not very tall, slender build, but slender curvy. So when she say big fine, big in reference to ability to be fine. But yes, fine indeed. And then just personality, I definitely was like, okay, I'm digging all of these things. And so we, our flirty banter back and forth. Because Crystal would flirt with me to the point that people in the group thought we had met in person when we actually hadn't. So, yes. So what was your first impression of me?
I had a couple of first impressions of you. First of all, when I met you, I was like, oh, he fine. Like, he fine. And I see why the ladies were saying what they were saying about him. Well, we're not going to go there, but I was like, yeah, he's fine. And then my next impression of you, based on the circumstances at the meet and greet, I was like, oh, he must be a little player, because he was trying to hug all up on me. And then the young lady that he met there was locking arms with him while he was hugging me. So it was very strange, but I was like, it must not be too serious because he's hugging me while this young lady is holding on to him. So I didn't know what the situation was. Again, I wasn't looking for anything, so I just kind of went with the flow. But the first thing I noticed was how attractive he was, and I was like, okay. So I was very intrigued by Mo Breezy, because that's what they called him in the streets, and some people still call him that. But Mo Breezy is no longer. He is Maurice Brown.
Yes.
The husband of Crystal Brown.
Yes. And you are Crystal Brown. Your alias is gone.
We'll talk about my alias on another day.
There is no more alias.
We'll see.
You are the wife.
I am.
Okay, cool. So there's no alias necessary. Go ahead.
Okay. So what did you get wrong about me?
What did I get wrong about you? That you were shy.
I am shy.
That's not true. And I think you are an introvert to the point of like you need to recharge. So that much is true. But under the right circumstances and the right people, you are not shy. And so there's coyness about you in reference to, okay, you're just not going to run up and start a conversation.
Absolutely not.
So that part is true. But once you warm up, there is, a warmth about you, engagement about you. So you're not shy by any means.
Mm.
And if you want to meet somebody or talk to somebody, you're going to talk to them.
Yeah, that's true.
And what'd you get wrong about me?
I guess, like I said, I thought you were a player. I mean, I did. And once I really got to know you, I was like, okay, he's an upstanding guy, he's locked in, he's that guy. So that's what I got wrong about you. I really thought you were just for the streets. And that's based on conversations that I was having with other people and how our first meeting went. But you were quite the opposite once I got to know you. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. What stood out about me?
What stood out about you? Your fashion sense.
Boy, you were not thinking about my fashion
no,
sense. Stop it.
no, real talk. Real
My
talk.
fashion sense.
Because one thing about being in Facebook groups back then and having multiple meet and greets, you would see a lot of people and how people would style themselves and certain things that they would do. And as a guy, you always see all the ladies and what they would wear.
See, that's the difference between me and a lot of other people. I dress for myself.
And that's the point I'm making. So you'd see women and you'd be like, okay, some of you are being super risque to try and catch the eye and, being out of your element because you're trying to get the attention of someone else, as opposed to just being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always you being yourself. And the other ladies would always respond to your fashion and say, oh, I like the way you wear that, or I like the way you put that together. And fast forward, I've always enjoyed that you always switch it up, especially hair, lip color, style, and fashion. And I noticed that early on. It was never the same clothes, the same hair. And
it was the same clothes. You just didn't know it. But that's another story for another day.
Okay. So what stood out about me?
Once I got to know you, just how genuine you were. Like, you were the type of person, if you told me something or you said you were going to do something, then you did it. And that was definitely one of the qualities that really locked me in with you, because I dated people and been in relationships with people and they'd say one thing and then do something totally different. So I really appreciated that quality about you.
Okay. Now, we kind of got out the blocks stumbling a little bit for a number of different reasons, distance being one of them out the gate. But there was
But I don't think distance was an issue, though, because you were very intentional about coming to see me. And, I knew that you co-parented your children. So I feel like you set the expectation up front. And literally, I can't remember a time where you did not come to Charlotte to see me when you had your days off. So I don't really think distance was an issue.
Well, yes, I had to earn that though. But I like our first official date.
Oh, yeah.
I did have a snafu where I didn't know it was going to potentially be our first date. And I was dropping the kids off in Charlotte and things changed on my end. And I had and I circled back. Backstory for those of you that have not heard this before. Crystal lived in Charlotte. I was dropping my kids off in Charlotte. And when Crystal used to pass through Greensboro where I lived to go see family, she would tag me on Facebook within the group. And that's why a lot of people thought that we had actually met in advance, but we had not. And so that was something flirty that she used to do and I would do. So this was my chance to kind of repay the favor because I was in Charlotte. And she actually responded to me via inbox. And so when she did, I was like, oh, okay, we can actually have a conversation and kind of go back and forth. And I was like, well, I'll be here for a minute. I might get a chance to catch up with you before I head out.
No, you did not say might. You said that we were going to catch up.
Okay. I shall concede to that in this moment. But in that space of dropping the kids off, getting an update on some other things, I had to go to work the next day and get back to Greensboro. And so I was like, okay, I got to get back. Things ran a little bit longer. Can I take a rain check? And I did not know that Crystal was studying, that she had stopped studying, that she had done her hair, gotten dressed, and was waiting for me to respond back to her.
Yes, yes, yes. I did all of that. And I washed my hair because my hair was natural.
Right. So I knew none of these things had taken place. And so in things changing and canceling, you would think that I'd blown it.
I should have kicked him to the curb because I'm gonna tell y'all what I think happened. I think that he probably double booked and he went and saw somebody else.
Really?
That's what I think, y'all. He swears up and down that's not what happened, but I don't know. I might have to put him on a lie detector test one day because 13 years later, I still want to know the answer.
Really? Is that what we're doing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
But
10
anyway,
years and some vows.
yeah,
And
I want to know
Okay. Wow.
because he stood me up. And normally I kick somebody to the curb for that, but
But God has favor on babies and fools.
Mm.
And so I was able to earn the opportunity again. We went on a great, amazing adventure on that next date.
Okay.
And, oh, we didn't?
Yes, it was an amazing time.
Yes. Yes. We even held hands.
We did.
And the rest was history. So
It
from
was.
there.
It was.
So yeah. So let me ask you this. What fears existed once you realized there was a possibility that this could turn into a relationship? What were you nervous about?
Well, I'd never been in a long distance relationship before. I was not sure how the dynamics of that was going to play out. In addition to that, I'd never dated a man with kids. You were my first. I always just swore off men that had kids. And I know people are like, oh my gosh, that's so hypocritical. But I did not want to deal with the drama of dating somebody with kids. So Maurice was my first and my only. So
Your last.
and my last.
Okay.
So I was definitely worried about the dynamics of that. I didn't want to be in a relationship, but after our first date, I feel like he put that old man swag on me.
Old man swag.
I mean, you are 6.5 years older than me, so he put that old man squeeze on me, y'all. So I was just like, okay. He was just different from everyone that I'd ever dated before. So I feel like if I would have just put him to the side and kind of had him and seen what else was in these streets, he wasn't going for that anyway, because literally after our first date, he was claiming me and pretty much told me what it was going to be. And I was like, hold up, player. Like, I'm not here for all of that. I'm just here to have a little fun. But he was not with that at all.
Hey, I gave you a choice.
You did.
I gave you your options. I was like, I'm not going to be part of the roster.
Listen,
I'm
y'all.
not going to even be a franchise player.
I would have gave him the number one spot. No.
I was like, it's going to be me. and this is it. I am the team.
From a former player. Y'all hear that, right? But I can't have no roster. But he had plenty. But anyway.
Any of that prior to you has no bearing on what we're talking about now. But
I'll give you that.
But again, it was an option because once we had the conversation about if we were to turn this into a relationship, what we wanted, I think we were very clear and on the same page about if we move forward, what are we looking for?
Okay. So what fears existed on your end?
I think the long distance piece of it, because even though Charlotte's a great city, the traffic was definitely something that I did not want to deal with concerning Charlotte. Job opportunity wise, even though Charlotte offers great jobs, the commute was not something I wanted to do.
Oh, so you were already thinking long term.
Yes, because I think at some point in any long distance relationship, unless it's just something you just can't overcome, I think most couples look to close that distance if they can. And I think for me, it was just what we were probably ultimately going to do. So us being closer to each other or being in the same city, in the same household, I think that just is, as the relationship progressed, would have been the goal. So yeah, I think we sharing a lot of love today. How we got here?
I think we did. I got another question for you though.
Sure.
Why do you think this relationship could have never happened?
I think because with a woman as beautiful as you are,
Lord.
and as many people wanted you, it was hard. It was hard. They, I mean, I'm not going to share, but well, I am going to share.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
We said that we were not going to be very specific.
From a general standpoint, there were just a number of people that were very interested in the amazing woman that you are. We both recognize that we had traveled the road to get to where we were at that particular point. And we both been through a lot of things to get there. It was just work to just blend all of that together. And that just may be another episode in itself.
Yes, it
But
is.
but it's just a lot of things to consider at that point, in addition to the many
Oh,
people
please.
that,
Please.
but just a number of different things.
Okay. All right.
But I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Even though you almost messed this up, but it's all
What?
good.
Me?
Yeah. I'm not gonna hold it against you.
Please don't, because I don't hold it against you.
I didn't do anything.
Girl, you need to stop. I got the receipt.
Anywho,
But we make it work.
we do.
It ain't perfect, but it's ours.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
Yeah.
We're not perfect, but we're perfect for each other.
Amen to that.
Hallelujah.
Okay, my dear. All right. So
Well, I think that wraps up today's episode. This was our very first episode, so we hope that you all enjoyed this. We have so much more coming for you all. And if y'all have topics or questions or anything that you want us to discuss, please feel free to comment under this video. We will take that into consideration. But before I close out, I do have one question for our listeners. What almost caused you to miss something great in your life?
that's good.
Yeah, we would love to hear from y'all. So drop that down in the comments and let's just have a conversation about it.
That's it for this episode of Between the Browns.
We definitely want to thank y'all for spending this time with us today. We do not take it lightly that you let us into your home, your car, your day, or wherever you might be listening to this podcast from.
We hope this conversation gave you something to think about, talk about, or grow from.
And before we go, just make sure you like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who may need this conversation.
And until next time.
No matter what season you're in, we're all figuring it out together.